So recently, Anders Carlson has had some struggles as of late when it comes to his kicking, his field goals, his extra points. And recently, Mason Crosby was signed by the Rams, just got cut yesterday. And so I saw some people in my comments asking about Mason Crosby. You know, should we pick up Mason Crosby? So I thought I would make a video on it because some people are talking about it. With the Packers and Anders Carlson using a 6th-round draft pick on him, there's no doubt the Packers were trying to find a guy to replace Mason Crosby for the long haul, getting a guy in the draft that they thought could maybe come in and become their long-term answer at kicker. It started off slow and a little bit worrisome in the training camp period where Anders was consistently missing kicks, was not very accurate in the training camp period. And then for the first 5 or 6 games, or first part of the season, he was playing pretty well, wasn't missing many kicks. But as of late, in the past 6 of 8 games, he's missed at least 1 field goal. And if we look at his field goal percentage this season, Anders Carlson, if you look here at these stats, has a field goal percentage of 80%, where if you look at the rest of the kickers in the NFL, that is tied for 25th in the NFL. So bottom, in the bottom there when it comes to field goal percentage in the NFL. And then if you look at Anders Carlson's extra point percentage, which he is 24 of 27 at 88.9%, that is dead last among kickers in the NFL. So he has not been very good so far his rookie year statistically. And I think there's no doubt he has a very big leg. I see what the Packers wanted to bring him in and try to solve some of the accuracy issues he had in college. But so far, he hasn't been super consistent or super accurate. While he started off hot, he's been a lot more inconsistent recently. And so when we look at Mason Crosby, there's no doubt that he's near the end of his career, maybe there right now. He had a chance to go to the Rams because they were, I think, a little concerned about their kicker, Lucas Havrisik, if that's how you say his name. Apparently, he was struggling a little bit, played well last game, and so the Rams decided to release Mason Crosby. And here's the thing with Mason Crosby. I think maybe if he came in right now, he may be slightly more consistent than an Anders Carlson. I don't think he would have quite the leg of Anders Carlson, but I think he would bring consistency immediately. Because if you look here at Mason Crosby's stats from last season, you compare him to Anders Carlson, and there's no doubt Mason Crosby was better last year than Anders Carlson has been so far this year. Mason Crosby has a better field goal percentage at 86.2% made to Anders' 80%. A much better extra point percentage at 94.9% to Anders' 88.9%. But then if Mason Crosby were to come in, it's just a short-term fix. And considering the Packers have been pretty adamant that they're going to give Anders Carlson a chance, I just don't think bringing Mason Crosby back right now makes the most sense, even though I love Mason Crosby. I love what he did with the Packers, and I think that he may be better for the Packers in the short term, to be completely honest, considering his stats last season. But Matt LaFleur yesterday was very, he was making it very clear that the Packers are going to stick with Anders Carlson, and that's sort of been the message the entire time here in Green Bay. Even in training camp when he was struggling, they were very consistently saying that, we're backing Anders Carlson. He's a rookie. It could take him some time to develop. And so my question is, how long do you give Anders Carlson? If this continues the rest of the season, if he enters next season and continues to be ranked in the bottom of the NFL, do you stick with him? Do you keep trying it? Or do you decide to move on? And I think that, in my opinion, the Packers will stick with him this whole season. I assume even they'll give him next season, in my opinion, at least to start off. And maybe at the end of next season, if they don't see anything there, they're potentially would be willing to make some other kind of change at kicker. But I just think because they spent a draft pick on him and you use those resources there to draft Anders Carlson, the Packers are not going to easily move on from him because clearly they see something in him. And there was some concern from his time in college where he was pretty inconsistent when it came to kicking. The Packers thought that it was because of some injuries and his inability to stay there on the field. But so far, it's still continued to be somewhat of an issue for him. So we will see if he can improve for the rest of the season and get back on track. And if not, the Packers may have some decisions to make in the future. But that's all for this video. If you want more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below.